Welcome to the Subreddit Sagas, where we will be talking about a story in Tales from the Front Desk. The story is titled, Interesting Start to the Night, by Healthy Library 4521. I work night audit. When I came in the evening at 11 p.m., we had 2 reservations and 1 room left to sell, but we had 4 vacant rooms. But the system was not acknowledging the 4th room. Every once in a while, the system forgets a room. Tried resetting the housekeeping, making it vacant and clean. The system didn't change, so I ended up calling support. Once support comes on, I tell him my issue. Normally, it is a matter of syncing the system because it isn't keeping up in real time. The system is internet-based. I don't have the ability to do a master sync on property. I don't have access to that. The support guy tells me he can't do anything, that the system rolled over at 1 a.m., and he can't fix room availability for April 6th because it was April 7th. I told him it was April 6th for me and 11 p.m. If it was 1 a.m., it was his time, but my system was currently at 11 p.m. After I got that through to him that I'm at 11 p.m., he starts working on the issue. Meanwhile, I get a young man come in asking for a room. I tell him it is a double queen, handicapped accessible. I tell him the price. He says that it is too high and he only needs 1 bed. He then leaves. I'm still on the phone with support. He has me do a few things, then continues to research. The young man comes back. He had made a reservation for the room. I tell him I need his ID and form of payment, and he said he already paid for the room. The reservation email said so. He had his ID, and I caught a glimpse of the credit card, which was green. It was a discounted online rate, but wasn't paid. We go back and forth after I told him the room wasn't paid for. He told me to hold on and goes outside. The support guy says he is still working on the issue and asks me the time. The young man comes back, hands me his ID, and has a credit card that was blue this time. He tries to show me the email, which said, "Thank you for purchasing," but the reservation was not set up as prepaid when he made it. He hands me the ID, and when he hands it to me, I ask for the credit card. He told me to wait again. At this time, I told him I could cancel the reservation, it wasn't prepaid. He said he wanted the room. He starts to leave without his ID. I call him back to give his ID. He goes back outside again. He is giving me fraud vibes with going back and forth on getting a form of payment. Support comes on, tells me to hold and asks the time. The young man comes back. He gives me his ID again and finally a credit card. It was one of those generic Amex gift cards with no name on it. I told him I couldn't use that card, that I needed a card that has his legal name on it, that it was a fraud issue. He flashes a blue credit card, says he wants to pay with the gift card, and we can use the blue card, which has his name on it, for incidentals. I told him I needed the card that he pays with to have his name on it. It needs to match his ID and him. That I can't take a gift card as payment. He has said his name is on the gift card, which is a gift to you. I told him I needed his legal name to be on the card. A gift to you is not his legal name. He said fine. I asked him again if he wanted the room canceled. He said no, he was going to do it. He leaves for the last time. Support asks me what the system was doing. I told him I currently had 3 reservations with 4 vacant ready rooms. He says to stay on the phone. He was knocking it to the next level of support. 15 minutes pass. He comes back and asks me what the system says. He also asks what time it is. The double queen has popped up and I show 1 room available. So he finally got everything synced correctly. Took him over 40 minutes. I get off with support. I end up canceling the young man's reservation after 20 minutes of him being gone. I go back to the back office and see a lady, on camera, chasing a dog in our parking lot. It isn't wearing a leash. The dog is running close to the road, and people drive crazy through our parking lot. I go to the front doors. I call to the dog. It stops long enough for the owner to grab it. I end up having to let her into her room. She is barely holding on to the dog. She forgot her room key. I verify ID. This all happens before midnight. About 1 a.m., when I'm setting up the dining room, an extremely drunk guy comes to the desk, pounding on the desk and bell. When I get to the desk, he says he wants his room back. I asked what he meant. He said he knew we locked him out and he wants his room back. At this point, he is angrily yelling at me. I check his ID. It is the room with the lady and dog. I give him a new key. He kept saying we locked him out deliberately. He goes around the corner and slams the door, getting the dog to bark. So that has been my night so far. Hopefully, nothing else happens. Thanks for watching Subreddit Sagas. If you enjoyed this Tales from the Front Desk story, like and subscribe for more. Share your thoughts and suggest future stories in the comments. Stay tuned for our next saga as we continue exploring Reddit's fascinating narratives. See you in the next video!